Hello folks, and welcome to another edition of the Marcus Smart. I'm Brent Dunstall, and let's get ready to go. We got a huge show for you today. This is my review of the first ever episode of Smackdown Live, and of course, the event that will change the future of professional wrestling as we know it, the WWE Draft. Raw and SmackDown becoming their own brands. Competition restored to the wrestling industry. Kind of like fake competition. Like not real competition, but like, oh, I'm just in something. Fake competition anyways. Let's get, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to break down. We did get matches during this episode of SmackDown Live, which I assumed we were going to in every other previous draft. That's how it's gone. We've kind of had a draft mixed in with a show. We also had Draft Center Live after this, which I watched, but I'm not going to really review much of it. There was some promos on it. Maybe I'll talk about some really bad ones, but other than that, this or some really interesting ones. There was some interesting promos there. But let's just get in and get the matches out of the way, and then we'll talk about the draft. That's what I think we'll do. So first off, Raw starts with the draft like right away. We get this fast start, first draft pick right away. No explanation of what happened the previous night. No explanation of who's the champion or anything like that. We do get it. We don't even get the announcement. I don't believe that, or maybe it's just where I picked up watching, but I thought I got it right from the beginning. We didn't even really get an announcement that there was going to be a championship match on SmackDown. Now, all of this, if you followed the social medias for WWE, you would have found out. But I don't always check things. I'm the viewer, man. Like WWE, you give me things spoon-fed all the time, like over and over and over and over again. You repeat and repeat and repeat, and then in this instance, it seems like, yeah, if you didn't check WWE.com, you don't know what the hell happened. So, and we're not going to tell you. I will point when we do. I'm going to go ahead here, skip ahead. During the final match, in the final hour of SmackDown, was the first time on television where WWE acknowledged what happened on Raw. And it was one of the commentators that explained that it was a draw the night before. But that took till the final match. Other than that, if you weren't online, you didn't know. So, all right. So first match, no. But we don't have anything that I don't love or that I didn't really like on this episode, but I do have one thing that's walking the line for me. Actually, I think I don't like it. I'm pretty sure I don't like this. Yeah, it's not even walking the line for me. I'm definitely sure I don't like this. We get Demon Kane versus Kevin Owens. While Owens is coming out to the ramp, down the rampway, Zayn interrupts him, and they fight, building obviously to Battleground. They fight their way into the ring. Eventually, Owens gets the upper hand, and he throws Zayn at Kane and tells him to chokeslam him. And then Kane chokeslams both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Here's what I don't like. Demon Kane is like nothing now. Like we see Demon Kane like what, once every couple weeks. Definitely not in any major storylines. Maybe he will now with Daniel Bryan. Yeah, I'll talk about that when I get to the draft. It's hard to talk about this without talking about the draft. But anyways, I don't understand what the hell the point of this was. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are two of your best guys, and you buried them Pete Rose style. Like, they played the role of a dude in a chicken suit, basically. They were like comic entertainment. And, you know, I don't understand why these two guys are getting chokeslammed. Have Kevin Owens chokeslam the Social Outcast. Have Kane chokeslam the Shining Stars. Have Kane chokeslam anyone but Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't understand how this helps Zayn or Owens at all. Yeah, and it's not building to anything because they're not going to be on the same shows after the draft. I'll tell you that right now. They're going to different shows, so they're not even building towards anything. Just ridiculous. And the segment was so short, I don't even know why we needed it at all. It was terrible. Okay, moving on. John Cena is going to face Luke Gallows with the club. Enzo and Cass come out before the match starts to be like, hey, we're going to be at ringside to get your back because the club has been winning every match by cheating, basically, and that is exactly what's been happening. This time, the club does try to interfere. That interference is neutralized by Enzo and Cass, and Cena's able to hit the AA for the win. So, there we go. These are all just short matches building to Battleground. This is all into stuff I love now. Like, SmackDown was fine. All the matches were fine. This match was fine. We didn't get the big promos or the big anything we got before. Obviously, we're just getting like little shorter matches. Rusev, next match, Rusev and Miz versus Zack Ryder and Darren Young. This is so much better booking than when we saw Rusev and Sheamus versus Ziggler and Ryder, just like on was it just on SmackDown, the last SmackDown? Yeah, or on Raw, I can't remember when we saw that match. But just, that was like tired, boring booking. And this is way better. I like the two champs versus the two contenders, and just the whole mix of people, Rusev, Miz, Ryder, Young. I don't feel like I've seen this 100 times before. This was much better booking, much better match. And the end to this was great. Darren Young pulls out the finisher he got from Bob Backlund for the first time and actually wins the match with a crossface chicken wing. The only thing I thought was weird on this is that I believe Darren Young scores the crossface chicken wing on The Miz, which is odd because going into an event this weekend where he's going to be facing The Miz, to already go over on him in a match like that. Anyways, yeah, usually I say the opposite makes more sense to me, that like Darren would put the crossface chicken wing on Rusev, but I think the problem is having Rusev tap would really weaken his character, where it doesn't really weaken Miz's character. Miz can tap, he can be conniving and wily and scared and running away and submitting, and that's okay, that fits with Miz's character. Rusev's just big, strong bull, like in your face. He can't be seen as someone who's going to like submit. That's the only reason I think that it went down that way, and they wanted to showcase the crossface chicken wing. That's the only thing I can think. But there you go. Darren Young winning with the crossface chicken wing. After that, we get Bray Wyatt versus Xavier Woods. Billed his first time ever. I'm not sure. I don't keep track, but but definitely I haven't seen this matchup. This was really nice. This was really fresh to see these two guys in the ring. It didn't feel tired at all. The one thing in the middle of it, we get Bray putting Xavier in a trance and like picking him up off the ground and putting his hand on his shoulder, and then Xavier snaps out of it and punches him. I don't know about this trance stuff, but the match was pretty good. We'll see where the trance stuff is going. I've been saying, I don't know if I said it, I wrote it down somewhere, that I thought maybe there's a Xavier Woods turn coming. Like, what's going on with him in the New Day, or him in the Wyatts? But yeah, this was weird. Although Bray and New Day are on new shows now. I'm giving it all away before we get there, but maybe most likely all of you saw it. All two of you probably saw the draft already, so it doesn't matter. Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks, a 2-on-1 handicap match. This was interesting that they did it as a 2-on-1 handicap. You don't see a lot of this, but and they worked a decent match for a 2-on-1 handicap match. I thought Sasha Banks worked a great match. I think it didn't make anybody look too weak. And Charlotte hits the natural selection for the win, which on a 2-on-1 handicap, absolutely she should be winning that. Chris Jericho versus Cesaro. The only thing to note from there, we get a wicked Jericho goes to do the lion salt off the middle rope, and Cesaro joins him up there and then gives him a side Russian leg sweep off the middle rope. I thought was pretty impressive. We end up getting the code breaker for the win. Jericho and Cesaro have obviously like been building into a feud, and they're going to stay on the same brand, so this makes a lot of sense. And again, I've said, seriously, who's complained about a Cesaro match recently? Seriously, this dude is just hot fire, so he's awesome. We come back from a break next to a Lynch and Natalya brawl, and apparently we were going to see a Natalya versus Foxy match. Poor Alicia Fox, I'm pretty sure she's being used in more than one of these. I'm going to face somebody, but then there's a beatdown and I don't actually face anybody. I just had to walk out to ring. I think she's been in a few of these matches, but we never actually get to see her fight. So, From there, the only promos we got on SmackDown about the draft was we got an Ambrose and Rollins promo about their draft pick and kind of building into this match. Because they both, I'll just give it away, they're both going to separate companies, 1 and 2. Again, most of you are probably watch this, I assume. So they go 1 and 2. And then it's like, who's going to win the belt to go to which company, right? So the match was absolutely awesome. These guys have been having awesome matches. It was an awesome match on Monday night. It was an awesome match here. The crazy thing about this match, though, is Ambrose goes over clean with the dirty deeds on Seth Rollins. That was really, really surprising to me. I wasn't expecting him to go over clean like that. Yeah, but there you go. Ambrose goes over clean, keeps the title, rolling into Battleground with a clean victory over Seth Rollins. Interesting. Draft Center Live was next with Renee Young, Booker T, Lita, and Corey Graves. Just some highlights from that. Titus O'Neil promo. Brutal. Just brutal promo. Again, who are you, Titus? Who are you? And it was made even more brutal by Darren Young coming in and cutting an amazing promo right after it. Kalisto did the craziest promo ever. Where I am here to prove that I can do good, and I will also be happy because Baron Corbin is on SmackDown with me, and I'll get my revenge and do good lucha. I don't know what happened after that. He went into convulsions and left the screen. Seriously, I have no idea what happened. And then I do good lucha. And he jumps off screen. I don't know. You got to go back and watch that Kalisto promo. I feel bad for the guy. He obviously got caught on a word or something. I don't know if they were actually, it's called Draft Center Live. If they were doing that live and that was a live promo, then I just feel bad. That should have been a retake. That was actually, I think everything I just did needs to be a retake as well. But unfortunately for you, I don't do retakes except yesterday, obviously. If you watched yesterday when I redid the whole damn show. All right. So that's SmackDown Live. So the only thing left to talk about from SmackDown Live was how the draft went down. I don't know how everybody out there felt about it. In here, I'm feeling not so great about it, actually. I really was hoping to see the two brands emerge from this draft. Like, this is what Raw was going to look like, and this is what SmackDown was going to look like, and they were distinct brands. And I just kind of felt like I was getting WWE 1 and WWE 2, and not like WWE and NXT. See, that was really, when they came out with NXT, that was awesome. That was a separate brand. That was like Raw, SmackDown, WWE Universe, and then NXT. This doesn't feel that way. This feels like, WWE 1, WWE 2. So, in that respect, I didn't love it. The NXT, we did get a bit of an insurgent from NXT. The NXT picks. Oh, man, should I get there now? Oh, I don't even know. Let's go over the NXT picks. Sure. We got Finn Balor, who's picked 5th overall. He was the first NXT pick. Really, really high. Shocked me how high he went on the Raw draft board, but picked 5th overall, Finn Balor. After that, we got Nia Jax, picked 25th overall. Who else went? Then 47th overall, we got Alexa Bliss. American Alpha. American Alpha went 22nd overall. Carmella went 59th overall. And who was our 6th pickup? From I don't know. I'm reading my stuff and I don't know. I didn't separate out the NXT people, obviously, or I wouldn't be having this much problems with it. Yeah. Oh, Oh, that's why. Gosh. If you didn't watch, this is really, my God. 57th overall, Mojo Rawley. Like, this is just mind blown. Are you kidding me? What? Mojo Rawley, Carmella, okay, fine. Even Carmella I had mentioned, but I didn't think she was going to go. And Alexa Bliss I hadn't mentioned, but I had said I thought she should go up to the main roster, that she was ready. I've said that on a previous episode. So all of these people were in on my conversation, actually. So the top 5, I may not agree with it, but I understand that they can't just like empty out NXT. They have current storylines going. That's fine. That is fine. And maybe they'll be able to play out some like big signings now, where like Steph and Shane are trying to sign big names from NXT, like Shinsuke Nakamura or Asuka, so maybe those things are still to come, right? Because obviously any of those people coming up, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, these guys would, the Revival would really, Bailey would really boost either roster. So them not coming up was really shocking to me, that we didn't see some of them coming up. And we got a guy like Mojo Rawley, who for me, man, I really don't like to be negative, especially about workers, because I'm not. I think, we're all trying to make do with the hands we're dealt. But his character's just not, he's not there for me, man. The hype bro thing, I don't like it with Zack Ryder. This scares me because he's now on a program with Zack Ryder. He's on Smackdown. If they're going to just do the hype bros and kill Zack Ryder's like singles, we'll have to see. Maybe they could get into a feud. Maybe I'd like a Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder feud. Maybe that's what I'd like. But right now, that's a weird pick from NXT for me. I'm just like, whatever. So that gets NXT out of the way. I wasn't super happy with the NXT picks. Like, really just the Mojo Rawley pick. But even like the Alexa Bliss and Carmella kind of surprised me a little bit. But especially Carmella going to a show without Enzo Cass. So no being reunited with that for that team. So, and maybe that's better for her if she wants to focus on her singles career. Maybe that's going to be good for her. So let's look at how the they actually shaped up, how the shows actually shaped up. And I kind of separated things into, for Raw, I separated it into 5 categories. I had 3 for the guys. Your kind of world title contenders, your top tier, your middle tier, US title, which has gone to Raw. And then your cruiserweights, because they're going to have a cruiserweight division in Raw. Now, they've said that they're not sure how that cruiserweight division is going to form, and that some of it might be coming from the CWC. There's even talk that the winner of the CWC will be the first cruiserweight champion. I'm not sure, but we'll talk about that. I also have a women's division and a tag team division. For SmackDown, I have 4 because I left out the cruiserweights. So if we go through who I think are those top tier guys for Raw, we have, and I think Raw definitely for the male performers has the distinct advantage. We have Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Braun Strowman. Braun I'm putting right up in there in the top tier. Like, they're going to push this guy to the moon now that he's separated from Bray Wyatt. By the way, he's separated from Bray Wyatt. And they're going to push this guy to the moon now. So he's definitely in the top tier for me. This is a really, really solid top tier. The interesting thing, Finn Balor and Sami Zayn are both officially cruiserweights by CWC standards, which is 205 and under. So not even the higher like 220s or 225s that cruiserweights used to be, but even going by the lower CWC standard of 205, Finn Balor and Sami Zayn are both cruiserweights. I don't think that they picked Finn Balor 5th overall to make him a cruiserweight champion, but they could have. And I don't think Sami Zayn belongs in the cruiserweights, given all the stage he's gotten so far and all his work with Kevin Owens. So those are the people that I'm putting in that top tier. Compared to SmackDown, we have Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, John Cena, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and Alberto Del Rio. Those guys, I think, make up a solid, actually, top tier. We can get some interesting matches. You're not going to get more than a year's of play out of that. You only have like 6 guys in there, but hopefully if they can get some signings or bring some people in, maybe even elevate a guy or two. Honestly, when we get to the next tier for SmackDown, I don't know who they're going to elevate. SmackDown, this is where they have the distinct disadvantage. They basically run out after their top tier, and we'll switch back and we'll see. So that's our 2 top tiers. I think they're actually pretty even. I think the distinct advantage is obviously to Raw. They have like Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. These 2 guys are huge. Whether you like Roman Reigns or not, he's one of the biggest guys in the company too. And Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, amazing, right? So my next tier for Raw, I have Chris Jericho, Rusev, Big Show, Cesaro, Sheamus, Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. So some of these guys we could see, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel may work as a tag team and not singles. They were talking about this is the resurgence of Bo, a Bo-surgence or something that, now that he's separated from the social outcasts, who knows what's going to happen with that. I would like to see Bo do well. I was thinking maybe Bo was in cruiserweight territory, but he's not. He's too heavy for a cruiserweight. None of these guys are in cruiserweight territory. This is a really glut of people at that second tier. This is where Raw has this advantage. They have guys that can move up to the next tier. They got guys like Cesaro. They got guys like Rusev. These guys are just cusping that next tier, right? Darren Young moving in, just getting up to that IC tier, right? Jack Swagger, who could definitely use a resurgence. Sheamus, who could use a resurgence. Chris Jericho, who's been performing excellent right now. There's lots of good stuff they can do there. And then Big Show, he's a throwaway for me. He's going to be part of WrestleMania, and we're going to see him here and there. But he's not an everyday worker for me, or Mark Henry. So those 2 are just throwaway picks. I don't see them as being regular parts of Monday Night Raw. But there's just so many people down there in that second tier. If we compare that to SmackDown, we have The Miz, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Kane, Kalisto, Zack Ryder, Apollo Crews, Eric Rowan, and Mojo Rawley. And then that's it for that second tier. So we have Miz as the IC champion now. And who can challenge him, right? Like Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Kalisto. Kalisto's going to get into a program with Baron Corbin. We think that's where that's going. We don't think. They're setting that up. Ryder. Ryder, Ziggler, Miz. How many times can I see Ryder, Ziggler, Miz? That seems like that's going to get pretty old really fast. Eric Rowan, is he going to work with Bray Wyatt? Is he actually going to compete in that lower tier? Who knows? That just seems really, really empty to me. Kane is a throwaway to me as well. He's not somebody who competes on a regular basis. So that's a bit sketchy. And Miz too. Miz can go away for filming or different things. And he hasn't been a regular performer. Maybe he's going to be now, but he hasn't been in the past. This just to me seems really, really light for the second tier for SmackDown. Third tier for Raw, we get these are guys that I think instantly could have an impact in a cruiserweight division and feel like they're not elevated too much that putting them in a cruiserweight would hurt them. Because obviously Finn Balor and Sami Zayn, I feel like that would hurt them being relegated to a cruiserweight division. I have Neville and Sin Cara on Raw as well. Now, if they don't compete in the cruiserweight division, or at least I think Sin Cara should, but maybe Neville won't because he's already had kind of mainstream success. But yeah, those are the only 2 guys, honestly, that Raw even drafted that could form a cruiserweight division. So they're going to have to get these cruiserweights from somewhere, because right now, Neville, we don't know, maybe cruiserweight, maybe not. Sin Cara, probably cruiserweight. That's the only thing I can really see him in. But if they're going to make the CWC winner the cruiserweight champion, that's kind of insulting. I think Neville should have a chance to be cruiserweight champion. Why wouldn't he be in the CWC, right? I don't know. Maybe the winner of the CWC faces Neville, but then Sin Cara is just a piece of trash. He doesn't get mentioned in this at all. I don't know how they're going to work it out. The cruiserweight's really interesting. Other cruiserweights, just to note, on Raw are Xavier Woods as part of New Day, and Enzo is Enzo and Cass. But we'll get that into the tag teams. I don't see them working as cruiserweights, although they've talked heavily about Cass as wanting to give him a big push. Maybe they separate Enzo and send him to cruiserweights and push Cass singles. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll move on. Now, from here on out, I give the distinct advantage to SmackDown. And I think SmackDown had the better women's division and the better tag team division. And I think it's just because I feel like they're not weighed down with some teams that are still trying to work out the kinks. I think, and women that are trying to work out the kinks. I think they just have the tighter lineups. Raw may have more people, but SmackDown, I think, has just the tighter lineups for women and for tag teams. So let's look. Raw's got Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, Paige. I think that's an excellent top 4 for Raw. Where it kind of drops for me, Summer Rae, Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke's actually been doing really good with Charlotte. We've probably seen Dana Brooke wrestle on WWE television more than any woman over the last month. And she's been holding her own. But to me, she's just a side piece for Charlotte now. Until those two break up, she doesn't really have a huge impact in the women's division outside of her with Charlotte. So for me, that's just like a team. So how long can we do Charlotte, Sasha Banks, you know? Because honestly, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Dana, as much as I like all three of these, it's getting a little tired. I don't think the booking was quite as nice as the booking for Becky Lynch, Natalya. And, you know, we've seen these people fight now, these three women, in almost every combination imaginable. We still have to see a tag team match at Battleground, and we're still building towards a singles at SummerSlam. What happens after SummerSlam? You know, where do we go? Paige and Nia Jax can come up and maybe be in the title picture, but who knows? I don't think we're going to see the same kind of women's matches we're going to see out of SmackDown. SmackDown for the women's division got Becky Lynch, Natalya, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie, and Carmella. The only one on that list of any controversy is Eva Marie, but I think with all the work she's put in, and I think getting to a main brand stage and out of the NXT brand is going to be good for her. I see this as being a really, really strong division that's going to give us great matches. There's only 6 women in this division, but any combination of them, I'll be happy with. There's a lot of people that need a bigger platform. I think Naomi's a fantastic wrestler. She needs a bigger platform. I think Eva Marie can do well. Carmella has not shown me the hot fire, but, you know, neither has Eva Marie. But I think Carmella, she definitely has the will to succeed, so we'll see what she does with her character and how she brings it around. But I've been hot on Alexa Bliss, and she's gonna be able to make a big impact on SmackDown. Yeah, I like this, and we have strong heels: Natalya, Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie as our heels, Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella as our faces. So I think that's really good. See on the other side, I don't even know. Charlotte heel, Sasha Banks face, then Nia Jax heel, Paige face. You know, she's being face, I guess. She's going to be face now. Summer Rae heel. Foxy face? She was heel. Face now, maybe? And Dana Brooke heel. So your faces are Paige, Banks, and Alicia Fox are your faces? See what I mean? It's just, it sounds good on paper, but when you start to think about it, there's something, the Raw doesn't seem as good as the SmackDown. Better matches, better opportunity for growth, better balance of heel face, better ability to create storylines that way. I just think they're set up better on SmackDown. And also for the tag teams. And we'll go through the tag teams now. We have on Raw, New Day, Enzo and Cass, Gallows and Anderson, The Golden Truth, Dudley Boys, and the Shining Stars. Again, to me, this comes down to like that bottom end and how that affects it. Yes, you got New Day, Enzo and Cass, Gallows and Anderson. Boom. Huge. Awesome, right? But then after you get Golden Truth, Comedy Act, Dudley Boys, Nostalgia Act, Shining Stars, Poop Poop Act, you know? Again, Shining Stars, go watch Rougeau Brothers. Seriously, they know how to do this stuff right. Yeah, I don't really know. And who's our faces? We got New Day, Enzo and Cass, Golden Truth, and our heels are Gallows and Anderson, Dudley Boys, and Shining Stars. So our only heel tag team is Gallows and Anderson of any kind of weight or circumstance. unless they're really going to actually push Dudley Boys. But none of those storylines really worked out last year. Nothing really got clicking for Dudley Boys last year, so who knows? But I don't think that's a division that's set up as nicely as the division in SmackDown. Only 5 teams. Five? Man, these mornings are getting me. Only 5 teams on the SmackDown tag team roster. American Alpha, Usos, Ascension, Breezango, and Vaudevillains. But I see like no dead weight in this division. 5 teams that can go. You could put all 5 of these teams in the ring. I would be happy. American Alpha, amazing. One of the best teams going today. So happy that they're going to SmackDown. Usos, they're just an absolutely awesome team that have been kind of just killed by this whole like face team that's not really part of the tag team division, this Roman Reigns association thing, where they haven't really been tag team competitors. They've been kind of elevated into these kind of main event storylines and taken out of the tag team division. I think they're going to do really good being put back into it. They were obviously one of the most popular team in WWE for years. So this will really give them a chance away from Roman Reigns to really, really become face again. And then from there, we have Ascension, Breezango, and Vaudevillains. So we got 2 faces at the top, American Alpha and Usos, and then all heels. See, again, the balance of heels feels right. Ascension, Breezango, and Vaudevillains. And we got great teams that can work, like Breezango, Ascension. These guys just need more of a platform and a chance to like actually work. They've just been buried. And Vaudevillains, like, this is unbelievable to me. Vaudevillains were part of a triple threat for the title belts like a pay-per-view ago. A freaking pay-per-view ago. And do you know what their pick is? 53rd. The Vaudevillains were picked 53rd, which officially make them the very last tag team picked in the draft after the Shining Stars at 52. What? The Ascension got picked over Breezango, got picked over the Vaudevillains. The Ascension got picked over the Dudley Boys. What? Some of this stuff was crazy. This stuff with the Vaudevillains was crazy. Come on. Anyways. But they're in there. And what a good division it's going to be, because those guys can work a match. And everybody in this division, I am confident that I'm going to be able to sit back and watch good matches from. So that's basically it. I feel like if you're looking for women in tag teams, SmackDown's going to be the place to be. If you're looking for the male superstars, I think Raw has the slight edge. But, you know, you're going to kind of go wherever your favorites go, I guess. And basically, you're going to go to both because, or at least I'm going to go to both. I'm not going to miss out on seeing AJ Styles, and I'm not going to miss out on seeing Finn Balor. So they already got me hooked, and I do this show, so what choice do I have? Also, big change. This is the last thing before we go tonight. The announce teams changed. They announced last night. Whoa, what's going on? Raw announce team will now be Michael Cole, the savior of misbehavior, Corey Graves, and Brian Saxton. How long have I been petitioning for Corey Graves to come to like one of the main programs? Thank you, WWE, for bringing Corey Graves up to Raw. For goodness sakes, and absolutely the right place for Corey Graves. He is absolutely your top heel announcer in WWE, and that's exactly where he should be. And Seth Rollins is on that program, and that's just going to make it so amazing. He's such a Seth Rollins mark. He does stuff so well with Seth Rollins, and just being on his side and doing what a heel commentator should do. I'm so happy about this change. I do think SmackDown has I think Raw has the better announce team now. Mauro Ranallo is absolutely my favorite announcer, and so I've always been given the edge to SmackDown. But SmackDown announce team changed as well. Byron came off, and Lawler came off, and were replaced with JBL from Raw and David Otunga, who we've seen filling in and doing main event and Superstars. David Otunga, I really didn't like him the last time he was on SmackDown, only because he was filling in for Jerry Lawler and he was playing a face. And so having 3 face announcers on SmackDown was ridiculous. Now that he's in that third spot and JBL's playing the heel announcer, I don't mind David Otunga near as much. Now he's playing the role of the guy who barely says anything and just gets told to shut up, basically, which is what Byron does and now David does. So I think Raw has a slight advantage. I think they have the better heel commentator, Corey Graves over JBL. I give Corey the edge. And I think they have the better guy who just sits there and gets told to shut up, which is Byron gets told to shut up really, really well. Way better than David Otunga. David Otunga thinks he's too smart, and so he doesn't get told to shut up as well. Byron gets told to shut up so well by like Jericho and Owens and everybody. Everybody wants to tell, and Corey Graves wants to tell Byron to shut up. So this is going to be good. Byron, I think Raw's got the better team that way. But Morrow, obviously the stronger play-by-play between him and Cole. So play-by-play is always going to be better on SmackDown, which is kind of going to make SmackDown a little bit better for me because play-by-play is so important. But I'm loving Corey on the Raw announce team. That's it. That's my draft. Overall, I'm really just trying not to make my mind up too much. It's hard to tell until we get down and see what the shows are going to look like next week. I thought, though, by this point I would have an inkling of what this was going to look like, of what these 2 shows are going to be about, and really see the SmackDown brand being this young, energy-filled brand. But there was just some picks, that kind of surprised me. Not that they surprised me. People have been talking about the way things were going to go. Maybe there'd been some things going back and forth and switching around, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like we got, especially on the men's side of SmackDown, a real sense of this is SmackDown. Definitely in their women's division and their tag team division, no dead weight. Those are lean, mean divisions. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to see. Raw, I can't complain too much about Raw because I assume Raw is just going to stay Raw. So anyway Raw drafted it really didn't matter because Raw is going to be what Raw is. More, I was interested in what SmackDown was going to be. Although they've talked about how is Stephanie going to revamp Raw. So we'll see. Next week should be interesting. What do I got up tonight? What is it, Wednesday? CWC and NXT. Impact tomorrow. And then that's about it. Well, thanks for joining me. This apparently was the night that was going to change wrestling forever. I don't know if it really did. One thing to note, AJ went to obviously went to SmackDown. Gallows and Anderson went to Raw, splitting up the club, but they made mention that the club is not going to end. The club is just going to take over everything. Interesting. I think we could see Finn Balor. This could be how Finn Balor comes in and becomes the leader of the club. I thought, how are they going to do that with AJ already there? Is there going to be contention? But maybe Finn Balor comes and starts the Balor Club, brings in Enzo and Cass, and AJ stays over in SmackDown. It's kind of worked out really well in that Finn Balor was the leader of the Bullet Club, and then he left and AJ Styles replaced him, and then flip over here, AJ Styles is the leader of the club, and maybe we'll see Finn Balor taking over as the leader of the club. Who knows how we're going to see it. Can't wait for... Battleground seems pointless now. I can't wait for Raw and SmackDown. I'll also have my Battleground review coming, or my preview coming out this week as well, and the review, but the preview hopefully before the weekend. But yeah, Battleground seems a little of a moot point now. I just kind of want to see where these 2 companies are going to go, or the 2 shows are going to go. But Battleground was shaping up to be a good event, so I'm sure it still will be, and we'll talk about that on my Battleground preview. Have a great day, everybody. Ciao.